Welcome back to the video. This is the part 10 of the game development tutorials. So as you can see that I have left the game working for a couple of minutes, and currently the score is 19 versus 18. So yes, we of course need one winning score to decide that who is the winner of the game. We'll be seeing that in this video, and also we need to see the motion of the ball, because right now it is acting like it is hitting a wall and it is flipping its direction. There is no influence of the paddle on the ball's vertical position. It is not like the paddle is hitting the ball and changing its direction. It is like the ball is hitting the wall and flipping its direction. So what we need to do is we need to count a minor change in the paddle's position and give it a motion such that it will have an influence on the ball's vertical position. So for that we need to understand this. If the ball touches the extreme edges of the paddle, it should change its directions, not just flip its direction. So if the ball hits over here, it will move upwards. If the ball hits at the bottom, it will move towards the bottom. It will not reverse its direction. If the ball touches the paddle at the very center, it will move on the same path on the opposite direction. So for that, into the conditions where the ball is touching the left and the right edge, what we'll do is we will calculate a minor change. For that, we'll create one variable in the if section. Let's name the variable as variable delta. Delta is basically a change in something, and this is the vertical position. So y, delta y equals ball y minus, we'll subtract the half height of the paddle 1y, because it is the left paddle, plus the half of the height. So we are subtracting the half height, and then we'll give the value of the delta y to the ball speed y. Equals delta y. And the same thing we are going to do into the right edge condition. Just copy the same thing and paste it in the below section of the right edge. Let's save and continue. So now you will see that if the ball touches the edges of the paddle, it will have a zigzag motion like you're seeing, but it is a very speedy. So what we need to do is we need to maintain the speed. For that, what we can do is we can multiply this delta y value with a small number like a decimal number. So let's say 0.35. It is just an approximation, not the exact value. If it is not proper, we'll be changing that value. Multiplied by 0.35. Let's save and refresh. Okay, so now you can see the speed is moderate. Okay, so now the ball control is done. Now what we need to do is we need to create one winning score that will decide that the game is over and so and so player has won the game. So for that, we'll create a variable in the variable section. That variable will be constant, because with that particular variable we will be comparing the player's score. Let's name it as variable winning score. You can name it as per your wishes, but it's just that it should be consistent and meaningful. So let's give it a value of 3, and now we are going to use the variable wherever we are modifying the score. Okay, so when the ball touches the left edge, in the else section we are modifying the score of the player. There is a minor error over here. What is happening over here is, so what will happen over here is it will reset the ball first and then it will modify the score. So the current value of the score will be washed out and it will be modified by 1. So we don't want this to happen, so that we'll just change the order of the statements. We'll place the ball reset condition after the increment in the score so that we have the exact value at that instance. And also below, when the ball is touching the right edge, the same thing we'll do over here. We'll change the order of the statements, and to avoid confusion we'll write over here in comments that it must be before ball reset function, so we don't have any confusions while we are back into our code that why it is coming first and why we are resetting the ball after that. Over here also we'll do the same thing, must be before ball reset. Okay, so now we have changed the order of the statements, which was a minor error. Now into the ball reset function, what we'll do is we will create the condition of comparison. We'll write if player 1 score is greater than or equal to the winning score, or for or we use the pipe characters. In this it will logically imply that either of the conditions should be true. If we put and, that is double ampersands, in this case we need both the conditions to be true. So currently we are using the pipe characters. In the next will be player 2 score is greater than or equal to the winning score. If this happens, we need to reset our scores of the players so that it restarts the game. We'll write player 1 score equals 0. Same for player 2 equals 0, and save. Now let's refresh and see. At the moment the score reaches 3 or equal to 3, it should reset the score. It's 1 currently, 2, and it is resetting the scores. Okay, so now what we want is we need to display one winning screen and an option to restart the game. For that, again we'll create one variable in the variable section. That variable will be variable show win screen. You can name it according to your wish. Initially the value of this variable will be false because the game is on. As soon as the game is over, we'll set the variable to true. So now in the section of ball reset function, wherever we mentioned the winning score condition, after resetting the score, we'll set the variable's value to true, means it is active. True means the variable is active, and semicolons. Now inside the move everything function, what should happen is, if the variable values is true, means currently what we did, we set the value of the variable to true, and here we'll put a condition for checking that if show win screen. This basically means if show win screen is true. We are not going to mention that it is true or false. We just write if show win screen, means it is true. Then what should happen? We should return back from this function. So in every function we need to implement this, because if that value is true, then everything needs to stop and there should be a display screen which shows that the game is over, or we need to click this option to continue. So the last function which is remaining is the draw everything function. In this, after the canvas is drawn, means we need to display that screen on the canvas, on the black screen which is drawn. So after creating the canvas, it should be displayed. The rest of the things should not be created. So between them we'll write the same thing. If show win screen, that means if it is true, what should happen? We need to return back from this function, and we need to display some text. So for that we'll use the statement canvas context dot fill text. The text is click to continue, because we will be creating a mouse event that as we click it will restart the game. So click to continue, and it should be 100 pixels from top and 100 pixels from left. Okay, so it's done. Let's save and refresh. Okay, so as soon as the score will be 3 or equal to 3 or greater than 3, it will reset the scores and display on screen. So as you can see that every element on the screen is vanished, and the reason why the text is not visible, because the text is using the color of the canvas, which is black right now. So to create another color for the text, we need to type one more statement, which is canvas context dot fill style equals white, so that's properly visible, and semicolons. Let's save and refresh. Okay, so now as soon as the game is over, it will display one statement which is click to continue in the white color. Okay, so here it is. Here's our statement, click to continue.